welcome to the Magical Boots 76th episode. Ronnie here. I have Shudipta. Shudipta, we couldn't make it happen a week ago, but here we are. How are you doing?
Yeah, so far, okay, I guess. How about you?
Fairly like you. I have had lots of injuries, but enjoying soccer and summer outdoors. But let's talk about Champions League final is tomorrow for me. I know it's probably today for you. Um, let's let's take a preview. I know you probably have ideas how the both teams, Manchester City and Inter Milan, probably going to line up in which kind of formations. So yeah, all yours.
Thank you so much. I already have I was going to do it in the last Saturday. The but the problem was that there are so many datas and so many types of
Mhm,
variations, and then I realized like okay, it's going to be one match tournament or something like that.
mhm.
So like data doesn't matter. I don't know. For some reason. So like I actually carefully watched the Manchester United game, but like
The
City
Manchester
versus
Derby.
United,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and also like Fiorentina versus Inter
West Ham.
Milan.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, so like the both Champions League finalists won that those tournaments. But there are some interesting takes on that actually. City, it seemed like City did not want to uh, go in full gear or something like that. At the end, they were when they like went ahead, they just like put like all the defenders from the bench and just pass it through. But the interesting game was actually Fiorentina versus Inter Milan. It was basically the boxing match between two Argentines. Nick Gonzalez, whenever he was getting the ball in that right half space, it was like he was going to do something. It seemed like that actually, and he already scored the first goal of the game. But really unlucky for Fiorentina. They did quite well actually in the cup tournaments, uh, like and also in the middle of the season they did well. There were actually some inconsistency, but they don't have actually budget that much actually. To, but yeah, overall actually,
They do have fairly decent side, and although I'm not going to compare City with Fiorentina, but the style of the play fairly there are certain structures or certain play that is fairly similar.
yeah. But the only difference is that like they don't have the creative force. They will need probably one actually in the next season. There are some players they will be picked up by other clubs in the next season. So. But yeah, let's get into that actually. I prepared something. So um, let me see.
Coming up, yeah, it's there.
Yes. So this is basically I think City will look because I put Akanji Akanji on the
Mm-hmm.
right side of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. My voice is
No,
cracking.
that's okay. That's okay. Take time. Take whatever you need.
Um, So I think actually they're not going to put Kyle Walker in the pitch
Uh,
because
There is no Vinicius for Inter Milan.
No, no, and no Rashford as well, actually. So,
Yeah,
but like 1v1 defense, Akanji is probably one of the best like right now in the Premier League. Ake is doing like probably best form of his life. So I think if there aren't any injury problem, Ake is going to play. Um, and yeah, they lined up like this for 30. I don't think. Well, there could be one more change, I guess, like with Bernardo Silva. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, given I don't think actually he will change it, but he will think about the spaces between, like left between this area, like between defense and um, midfield. They can actually pick up the space. So my suggestion would be Alvarez, but probably we can see him in the later part of the game. From Inter
excuse me.
side, I didn't think actually because they played like two, three finals. Uh, Also like I'm counting the semifinals. Also like I think what does it called it? The played in Middle East
Yeah,
Copa.
I
I don't
think
know,
I think Coppa Italia. No, Coppa Italia was played very
League
something.
Cup.
It was Super Coppa or something like that.
Super Copa, yeah, something like that actually. But I think that game also they played this backline. Um, they're actually putting what's his name,
Çalhanoğlu.
Çalhanoğlu,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, instead of Brozovic, and if we go back to our like one of the best prediction from the Copa America 21. Um, they sort of like did do the same thing that Argentina team did actually against Brazil. Like they do actually make shift. And for example, I think it was just the goal. Yeah, it was just before the second goal. Mkhitaryan is like lined up normally on the left side, and he goes up towards this side actually. He he was seen there actually. Barella was there, so they sort of create sort of like a situational overload, and they create actually overload in two different situations. One in the build up and one in the how can I say in the final stage of the game. Well, it depends on what is the situation. So let's move on to the next. How City is going to attack them actually. So yeah, like they sort of create like a three in the back, and Ake or Akanji sort of hugging that line mid circle. Diaz is prepared to. I guess like they don't actually get that much high normally. If they have like ball like for I don't know 1 minute, then you can see this sort of situation. But this year we are like watching City is like a little bit deeper, because they do the attack really quickly, and most of the time the regeneration and everything was going on. If it's in this sort of area, which they did it actually in the last season as well, but after that, actually, if the team breaks this, how can I say, wall, they just drop back like really quickly. And probably the strategy of the season is Stones getting up, sort of created like a box midfield in the middle with De Bruyne and Gundogan in between the lines. So they sort of like um, how can I say, they control this area, and there are like at least like two, three, four triangles. So there are like passing angles always like open up or something like that. So yeah, this is City is going to attack, like more like they were doing so far. Um, and I guess it is the pressing when they lose the ball. like high up on the pitch. What are they going to do? They actually, I saw actually the Bayern Munich game again, like with the help of some mobile videos, and also like I took probably, I don't know, like wherever it was free. Um, so it was a little bit because Bayern Munich played with like three in the back, sort of like situation, similar. And the second half of the game, City looked more in control because they were actually putting the player in between the places, so that like they cannot actually like go around this defender like easily. And sometimes they one of the player just move up or something like that actually. Then what happens actually, like he shows him the way, the goalkeeper, the way, the Bayern Munich goalkeeper I'm talking about. So this sort of situation can happen more likely in the game. And actually, I think they're not going to, probably they are, well, it depends. Like they are going to probably match up with like the back five in the attack, and four will like they will probably show the goalkeeper or the defenders way around. How can I say? And force him to like put long balls, which is not going to be a problem for Onana. He is basically a midfielder, um, built in Ajax under Ten Hag. He has like really good, like way wide range of distribution, and normally he don't miss this sort of passes like from there to high up in the midfield. And what I don't know, like it depends on like city and the situations and the press. Normally, City love to do like 4-4 presses, but in situations like one of the players will match up with the. But it is actually sometimes how can I say, a little bit risky because when you are getting in the wings, you are already like two against one or something like that. But Inter has like a really interesting things going on. So how they actually overcome these sort of problems, actually we go there. So yeah, City is pressing, but if Inter actually go out on an attack, they do it like really quickly. They wanted to do it quickly. They will always try to do it quickly. They will want to do it like really quickly. But if it's not possible, a little bit slower, then we will see these sort of situations like a box, situational box, um, and overload from one of the midfielders, actually, and to create spaces so that like they can squeeze City a little bit like this, and then shift the ball, because like all of the players except for Jeko also have like distribution, but it doesn't like it's not needed. But all of those like 5-6 players, they can actually shift the balls. And sometimes like the one of the defenders, like on the outside back, they actually uh, pressed up and create sort of like a how can I say,
Mid block.
open space, and not like a mid block. It's like a, when they have ball actually.
Okay, so
So
another option.
yeah, yeah, and sometimes they actually shoot from distance. Actually, I saw that actually, and Chalanoglu it basically probably scored from one of the shots recently. So it was actually interesting, and whenever like I saw that this interview, like whenever anyone is asking any Inter player about like Inzaghi, what is he, like or what his philosophy or everything, he's saying basically compact. Let's see, what does it mean? Um, I did actually like Inter attacking in the left and Inter attacking in the right, because it's a little bit different attack. Um, so they create normally like I said. I think that goal before I was discussing against Fiorentina, the second goal, like they created a sort of like overload there. Dzeko was like pushing up there, and for some reason, Lautaro, uh, he's like really clever. And right after the World Cup, what happened to him? I don't know. He he's playing like
His
Messi, like
his marriage, pre-marriage.
probably.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, he is getting all sort of spaces, and sometimes his passes like he plays those number 10 passes actually, and he's wearing number 10. So it's like I haven't actually seen him doing that actually for a while, and I think like his experience actually he got more matured during the World Cup actually. But uh, what I'm saying, like they
I think
create sort of like this.
yeah, the reason he didn't really do well in the World Cup was he was carrying an injury, and now he's fit.
Also, like when I, how can I say, I was talking about like Nick Gonzalez. Actually, Lautaro was doing well when Gonzalez was playing on the left, because if like Dimarco or anyone is like creating the overload over there, and Lautaro normally get this, like he has this like this vision and balls are coming from this area, so like he is like moving this way normally, so he has this like tendency to like turn around and quick shots and some stuff like that actually. um it's one of his qualities. So I think that's why he was doing well for Argentina. He was going to towards the, how can I say, basically he was standing over there and like moving towards this direction and something like that, and getting all those balls like, and like how can I say, he was able to shoot like from the right in front of the goal around the penalty box or something like that. So like that actually creates like very good XG, um, one of the reason. But now he's like dropping down and create sort of like one to one with this one of these midfielders, create sort of like a diamond shape in the midfield, and they actually they are benefiting from that actually. And I think Dzeko is going to play, although
Start,
like uh, yeah,
start. You mean
he
right?
will. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
um and Lukaku, I think like normally he does this like 60-65 minutes. Lukaku came in, and Lukaku is playing well actually, and sometimes he's like brings one of the center backs towards this side, which creates space for their like upcoming midfielders and latecomers. um, and City has this problem actually, like they whenever other teams are going to the counters, recently I was, it actually gave me a little bit nightmare, because I wanted to do the preview after the Manchester United game,
Mm-hmm.
but I could not find any sort of like their like common problem. Like last few games in the Premier League, they conceded goals, but those are like from the personal or like players like brilliant abilities, not from the system actually, you know. So, but in the Champions League, it's a different issue. Whenever they're going in a counter attack, and sometimes they caught up actually, like they have like four or three of these players lined up, and midfield is like a little bit high up, and they have this gap, and Lautaro is like really deadly in this sort of situations. So if they have this sort of spaces actually, and Lukaku actually make those spaces, he's not fast, but if he get the ball and get those sort of spaces with like uh, one or two of these center backs, then it will be like devastating for City, because Lautaro is like really clever guy. So other than that, like whenever they are going to attack, they are actually like, especially in the counter attack, one of the midfielders normally shows up um, late, and they attack with these three: Lautaro, Dzeko, and normally Dzeko is the target guy. He brings down the ball, and Lautaro try to win the second ball, or whoever there in the midfield, and these two guys just run towards to give the width. So sometimes they gets like this diagonal balls from Lautaro this season. That is one of the like how can I say skills he added actually. So yeah, that's basically Inter's attack. Huh, I think I should have actually written Inter pressing or something like that.
All right.
So what they did in the how can I say semi-final and other like Coppa Italia final, Inter actually messed up AC Milan in the midfield, and they did not actually give any spaces. So normally City will line up with like 4-4-2 or something like that in the defensive um, section. But I think Inter will start pressing from this sort of zone, you know, not too much higher, but they will actually like probably at first they will let you play for a while, and they will try to win this sort of like win the ball from this sort of area. And so far what I have seen actually in the last 2 months, if you are winning balls against this half space in the left half space, especially in this area of the city side and this area of the city side, or even like in the there actually in your own half, you are creating actually problem for city because like most of the players are moving vertically, you know, and Rodriguez is moving this way. So sometimes actually it creates a little bit gap actually between the midfielders and the defenders, because like the midfielders are like pushed up sometimes, and Rodri has to cover a lot, and like also Stones as like he just wherever he is, he just try to fill up this sort of like position, like to maintain the back four line, and it actually creates a lot of like problems in this area sometimes. And sometimes like you know, like if you are in the back, you are try to push up and try to match the other players who is like coming to this area or something like that. But when you are running back, actually it creates all sort of problems. So uh, if you are cheeky like Scaloni, or I think you can actually make this your strongest how can I say changes into a weakness in the counter. If everything so that could be the change actually, um, and I think Inzaghi will look into that actually so far. I think I have to. Oh yeah, I have actually another slide. So yeah, it's basically some example of my what I've seen. I was saying back so far. Just a moment. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was a match from yeah FA Cup final. I think just after the Garnacho came in for Manchester United, and Rashford was moving around like this half space and the as a striker actually. So whenever they actually got the ball from there, actually as a, they won the second ball. I guess like Fred won it, and then like just give it to Garnacho. And as you can see, all the players' body movement is this way. They are trying to like this is Stones probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
one of these
trying
actually
to go
Stones.
back
Yes, yes.
and defend
That
more space rather than going towards the
yeah,
attacker.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, next one. Um, oh yeah, City is actually also got caught up with like situational overload, uh, which actually creates sort of like a
Quick
um,
turnaround.
yeah, quick turnovers in especially I said that like this area is like really dangerous for City. This area is also like really dangerous. This half spaces actually wherever it is, City looked vulnerable when they how can I say lost the ball because like they like according to Pep Guardiola philosophy, they only have like two players in this sort of half spaces, and one of them normally will be there, or if he loses the ball, then
Then there
there
should
aren't
be
anyone. So like
someone. Yeah,
yeah, so like they everyone have to like move a little bit tighter to like towards the goal and move towards tighter to how can I say
to
make
each
it
other.
compact.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that they can get the spaces. And actually this is exactly what this is the Bayern Munich team, and this is what exactly how can I say Inzaghi's team is doing. Instead of there, Inzaghi's Barella or Mkhitaryan or I don't know whoever it is he's like um, playing, he will push up this way, and this is actually the turnover. I guess like one of the dangerous attack from Bayern Munich. And yeah, I think yeah, that's what I said actually. Like, see, this is John Stones,
hmm
and I think they lost the ball somewhere there, and in the half space, and Bayern Munich just midfielder just running towards there and see the
but
body
you
movement
can
from the
see, is it
winger.
was it Walker or the right back? He was
Yeah,
trying. He was running across to stop that gap.
yeah, yeah. Also, like he saw that actually he's going to do this pass, so that's why he just left a mark, like marking this player and try to close this gap. And also like Stones is running for his life
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. There's a huge gap. So if the ball is
Yeah,
played, it's
yeah,
almost done.
yeah. So yeah, like this movement actually, Dimarco is famous for this actually. Um, Also, whenever they are actually going out on an attack, normally this is, for example, this is Edin Dzeko. This is the optimal position, like Lautaro Martinez will have, and there will be like one midfielder here and one midfielder here, and Dimarco is already gone there already. So this is how they attack, and yeah. I think yeah, it is the Vinicius Junior goal. Real created sort of like a situational overload on the build-up, but for how can I say, for Inter Milan, they actually do this here. They love to do this here, overload, like create overload and get the ball from there and try to attack as quick as possible. It's also true for the other side as well. They if oh Another thing is that like okay, I will go there actually. I think how this is how City press in the three men's backup, like everyone is matching up, and three of the midfielders, Stones is there actually. I'm counting Stones as a midfielder. Yeah, like you can see De Bruyne, I think in the other side, Bernardo Silva. Gundogan came across. Yeah, this is De Bruyne, this is Grealish. So they sort of like try to match up with like the five
On the
men
back.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5v5 situation or something like that. So like it is actually dangerous for Inter Milan to, how can I say, defend this sort of situation. If it is like 5v5, in a way, like, well, Onana can just play the ball to Checo, then
Yeah.
it will create.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It just he can do
And
that
one
actually.
good quality, and that's why we come back. Why you start Dzeko, because his ball
Yeah,
retention is way better than
yeah.
Lukaku.
Also physically, I think he's. I don't know, for some reason he's slow, but he's
He can cover
for
ground. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for some reason and some way he do that actually. He does that. Actually. I think for the Inter, this is how they. I think they conceded the goal. It's the same actually situation with City. Um, Three of their midfielders, this triangle, they try to be compact, and three-man midfields. What I've so far said, like I think if it was for Barcelona earlier of the season, um, like for three-man midfield, if they're like really closer to each other, then it's like hard to play against them. But they are in the rotational shift, and I think this ball actually was owned there actually by this guy probably, and now there is a gap actually, and they actually conceded after that actually that goal. The ball came across this side, and Nick Gonzalez ran across the last center back. There were like two quick shift from right side to left side to right side cross, and then it was goal. So as you can see, like um, when Inter midfield actually try to match up the opponents actually, then there is a little bit gap
And
because
also,
of the aging
yeah,
center backs.
also, yeah, exactly. And also, except Barella, nobody can run that much for that long.
No, no, no. Um, yeah, sometimes like Inter just launched the attack from
Hmm.
the back.
Hmm.
This was directly thrown towards Dzeko. Lautaro won the second
I've
ball,
seen
and
a lot
he
of that.
made the,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Lautaro
the
made these
diagonal
two
balls from
passes.
back.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah, exactly.
Bastoni?
But no, Boston is here. It's Darmian
Dermian.
and HRB. They are actually playing these three, not Steven Debris. Um, but he come up actually when they are like one goal or two goals ahead, and create sort of like a block, like
More.
6-man block
Hmm.
in front of the goal, and he's like more of the like ball winner, header winners especially. But interesting fact actually from that from this shape actually, they launched the attack directly, but interesting fact is that like if HRB is this side actually, sometimes Mkhitaryan drops down and plays like a register.
Almost center back. Yeah.
Yeah, and go on attack, and sometimes like Barella came on this side, not like a center back, but he tried to create overload. Like they're both of the central midfielder or like defensive midfielder. What's his name? I forgot. Chalanoglu sometimes come. He normally drops down and creates sort of like a back four. Sometimes they create back five with the midfielders. So there are passing options all the time, but they don't do that actually normally. They just
Well,
like
that helps because
like
if a midfielder
yeah,
drops, another player drops back with him, right? The
yeah,
opposition. So you drag more
yeah,
player,
but
so you can play long.
it's yeah, yeah, exactly. This is what like how can I say Brighton is doing so far. Like, but they just stand on the ball.
Hmm.
But Inter, instead of standing on the ball, they create sort of like a fake. How can I say play? Like they are going to play from the back, but they don't do that actually. So just there are like 5 or 6 players from there, and they normally go on the counter attack with like 4 players normally. Yeah, this is the counter attack. Uh, I guess it was a AC Milan game. Yeah, it was the second goal. So yeah, this is Jacko, Dumfries, Dimarco, and Lotaro. Lotaro is
I
like
think
always
we've
looking
not
for spaces.
talked enough about who's going to score um, the winning goal. Joaquin Correa,
Uh, how so?
because we have not talked about him. He might. Um,
Yeah, probably. So yeah, like this is how both of the team actually can hurt each other. There are certain things like I'm thinking about, for example, well, I don't think Guardiola will change anything
no,
for some reason.
no.
I like,
I think
but
he gets. Hopefully, he doesn't change anything because he always changed for bad things that happened, right?
yeah, but I think for Inzaghi, he can actually turn this game like with one two like moments of. There is also like
There are a lot of ifs and buts with Inter doing
yeah.
that thing.
Yeah, but another thing, if you remember when I was covering German league, uh, how to make it like 50-50 game, you can just push it up or kick
No,
it
no,
up.
no, no, no. Keep you can, but the difference between there's lots of physical aspect on the German team and German league. If we talked about that, there's almost you
Yeah,
can change, bring on five more players, like change half of the team, right? With
yeah,
Inter,
but Inter actually one of the top top in the
subs,
list.
yeah, yeah, I know.
They are winning the all the second third balls actually. So
Uh, yeah, but you cannot really bring much younger guys from the bench.
no,
That's a problem.
but yeah, but yeah, I don't see actually changes in the starting lineup, but changes in I can see actually changes in the after the halftime and stuff like that actually.
And
And
Inter really depends a lot on their wing backs, a lot
and
on the attack.
yeah,
You know how they
yeah,
really stretch the defensive lines. So yeah, your call on Akanji, I can see that. You know, just to counter that from City's point, right?
yeah, um, yeah. Like Eke will play there. So another thing, what I suspect actually after 20 minutes it will be a different game if it says nil.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Inter would like that. Inter actually would like nothing at first
They will
half.
actually thrive in this chaos because like so far what I've seen actually they played few like knockout matches actually, and those are like really they played like knockout matches. So that's a different mentality. City so far played like the final FA Cup final, which
Hmm.
is a great, how can I say, exercise I would say. But see, actually United looked a little bit like they are back or something like that. They
Yeah,
will
they had a
go after it, and
chance, yeah, to come back.
yeah,
Yeah,
because like they put all the tall players like McTominay, Weghorst or someone else. I don't remember, but all the tall players were there, and they were actually winning all the second balls. So like it's like, and whenever City is getting the ball, actually like they are trying to keep it up, like put it long balls and stuff like that, and City is not getting that long ball. Like they're like physicality of like Gundogan or De Bruyne, they are like they were winning it in the beginning, but you cannot do it for the 90 minutes. Or if it goes in this case, like can go to 120 minutes.
fair enough. Um, so who's going to win it, according to you?
It's like how can I say? We don't actually predict these sort of things,
We
so
can predict the pattern of the game, but not the result,
yeah,
right?
we are not octopus fall or something like that.
Uh, yeah, octopus ball. I
Yeah.
don't know about octopus, but I would like to have eight legs. Um, but yeah, thank you for putting that up. I mean, I can see a lot of work went behind and a lot of watching and stuff like that. Which very recently I don't have much time of watching and reviewing and going back and tactically analyzing things. This is a lot of work.
Yeah, and also like thing is that like I probably said that in the beginning, like I wanted to add some data, but it's like a one game tournament right now,
And
so
anything,
I don't think
say
the
for
data,
example,
yeah, anything.
if in the second minute there's somebody scored, or say fifth
Yeah,
minute, right? Everything changes.
yeah.
Everything is gone. And
Or 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 in a way, like for example, Guardiola put down Gundogan or one of Bernardo Silva and put Julian Alvarez. He's like really master manipulator of spaces. Actually,
mhm.
he showed up in like this. I showed the uh, really big gap between three backline and the midfield whenever they are attacking or whenever they are going up. So he can actually manipulate that sort of space like easily.
No, I think good. Pep would be fairly safe in this case. Like, I don't expect Gundogan would be benched for
Yeah,
that. Um, Also, I think it's going to be very interesting how Jack Grealish plays tomorrow's game, because
yeah,
he's in terrific form of late, and also, um, mm, I mean, I was thinking about Foden. Would you bring him? But fairly recently, what I've seen, I don't think Foden is going to play from start at least.
no, no. I don't think he will see the grass probably. Um, Maybe in the last few minutes if they are ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, technically, this would be if um, City wins, this would be their, not technically, it's literally their first Champions League, right?
Yeah,
And
Inter's fourth.
if Inter wins, it would be fourth, but it would be that's double goal after Milito in 2010, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a long, long time. Either way, it would be fascinating, hopefully.
and
And
they have actually Croatian. Yeah,
Brozovic.
yeah. So they are going to win. You know this theory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Croatian wins you.
Croatian.
Yeah, yeah. So City doesn't have a
That's why
Croatian.
no. That's why Pep is talking with Kovacic. They want to buy.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Anything else you want to add on this City versus? Do we want to just strictly talk about this, or do we want to talk about a little bit more about other things?
We can do it later.
Okay. In that case, we will probably wrap it up and try to edit and upload it as soon as possible, because there's barely few hours left of the game.
Yeah.
So we'll try to do that as quick as possible. Thank you for putting this up. And hopefully we'll see you and talk about more. There are a lot of things happening. We need to talk. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll come back.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.